Okie dokie. So, if you're at home or you're at work, get cozy. Yeah. Get a drink. We've got our beverages. What are you drinking today, Kim?
Lemonade, actually.
Really?
Strawberry lemonade.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not a lemonade person.
Well, I'm not really strong lemonade stuff. That's
Yeah.
why it's a strawberry lemonade.
It's a strawberry lemonade.
Or I have a peach lemonade.
Yeah.
I have, raspberry lemonades. Those things are...
I'll mix things with lemonade.
Yeah.
But alone is like...
Well, I
super
get this sparkling water stuff that's got different flavors in it, and that's what I'm drinking. It replaces soda.
Yeah. Yeah.
Life.
Yeah. Well, I am drinking my signature, which is chai tea latte. It gets me through the day. So yeah, get a beverage, get a notepad, because we've got some good tips coming your way. And we're gonna chat dogs and we're trying to find time for your dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the reason that we decided we're gonna come out here and chat.
Wait, did you see your name?
I did not.
I didn't either.
Oh my god.
Hi. So we're on the Waco Animal Coalition account right now, which is a local organization. Well, really more a group of organizations. So like vets, trainers, shelter and rescue advocates, and employees all in town, and we just try to collaborate and work smarter together. And so,
and our biggest goal is to get information out to the public, and that's what we're doing here today.
Yeah.
So
Kim.
Yeah, so I'm Kim. I'm the owner of People and Pups Dog Training. Member of the coalition for, going on 2 years now.
Yeah.
So.
I'm Lisa Corcoran, certified dog trainer and owner of the Confident Hound here in Waco. And yeah, I think member of the coalition for 1, maybe 2 years almost.
Yeah.
But yeah, really love it.
Absolutely.
Love getting to work with other people who love dogs.
And animals and cats.
Animals in
yes,
general. Yeah. Kim and I are, we're dog trainers, so a lot of the tips today are going to be kind of dog focused, but honestly I think you can apply a lot of them to other animals in your care as well.
Like your cats or your rabbits or your
horses
ferrets
or yeah, totally. Okay.
All right, so the reason for this is we, in the coalition, we sort of keep an eye on shelter statistics and why animals are being surrendered or trying to be rehomed on all the different sites. And one of the biggest things that a lot of comments that I see is that people don't have enough time.
Yeah.
And so we're here to kind of talk about really how much time does it take to have in our case, a dog, because we're dog people. But like you say, it can transfer. But so,
and that's not to say that it's not a time commitment.
Oh,
it
not
is.
At all.
And if you're gonna bring an animal into your home, the best thing you can do is prepare yourself mentally as much as prepare your environment.
Right.
But I think there's some misconceptions about how much time something should take, and how to go about it. So.
Well, what is one misconception that you've heard about time? Like,
oh my gosh, exercise for sure.
Okay.
Big one. I think anytime someone's encountered, especially with a high energy dog, they think, I gotta run this dog for 5 miles a day, or I gotta go on these, I go on these really long walks and they're still not tired, or
Yeah, I've had people tell me, especially with like a high energy puppy even.
Oh
my gosh, the only way that I can wear this dog out is to take him on 7 walks a day.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's a lot.
I can't do 7 walks a day.
Yes, I don't take myself on 7 walks. Yeah.
I think another misconception we might have too is like, how much time does it take to train your dog?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the day-to-day and the long-term.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Do you have to set aside, an hour a day to sit down with your dog and train them?
I don't.
Me either. I don't have that time.
And I live a very happy life with my dog.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But, that should tell you something. If the trainers aren't doing it, then yeah.
Well, and you have 1 dog.
Yeah.
And I have 4.
Yeah.
And so, obviously, in my world, I feel that the more dogs you add to the situation, the more
it multiplies
time it takes.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't have to be an exorbitant amount of time.
Right. Especially if you get smarter about how you use your time.
Right.
Right.
All right. Well, let's go back to the first
Yeah.
one. Let's go back to exercise.
Okay.
Real quick. And so what are some? So we know the myth is that, oh my gosh, I got to take them on walks every day, and I got to take them,
Yeah.
you know, all this exercise. So what? What are some? What are some things you've been told, and what are some solutions to those things? Like,
I think we've all been told since we were very little that like walking your dog is it's a cornerstone of being a great dog parent, right?
that's fair.
If you don't walk your dog, you're a bad person. And I think that's such bull.
I agree.
Especially because like not every dog loves a walk, and especially depending on your environment, may not even love walking in your particular neighborhood. You know, maybe it's too busy.
Well,
Or-
and there's some neighborhoods where it's not even safe to walk your dog
Right.
in your own neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know.
So I honestly, in the last few years with clients, I've been talking more about like rethink the walk, rethink exercise in general, because dogs approach exercise very differently from us. We think, I gotta burn this many calories, I gotta get this many steps in, and you know, oh, if I don't stay at the gym for an hour, then I didn't do enough, and all this stuff. They don't care about that. They really only move their body if there's a good enough reason to do so. You know, herd that sheep, pull this cart, chase that squirrel.
Mm-hmm.
And so for them, it's way more of exercise ends up being the byproduct of achieving a goal. And so for that reason, I more recommend that people invest in like 10 to 15 minutes of playtime with their dog.
Yeah.
And it's it's a higher quality form of exercise that they enjoy more, and they leave it so much more fulfilled and will obviously get exercise out of it.
Right. One thing I like to do with my dogs, for as far as exercise is concerned, is like maybe we're sitting there watching TV and chilling out. I'll grab a toy and I'll throw it for them.
Yeah.
And they take it. I don't have to do a whole lot.
No.
Like, I just chunk it.
Yeah.
And they come bring it back. They chunk it again, bring it
Oh,
back.
yeah.
Or even playing a good game of Find It.
Yes.
You toss the treat way over here on this side of the room. They go get it and they come back. You toss it way over on that side of the room.
Yeah.
And they're running and having a good time.
Yeah.
When you're doing it and wearing them and getting their exercise.
Yes. Yeah, totally. Layering playtime with your dog where you maybe don't need to be like 100% involved, that you can kind of multitask,
Right.
Maybe you're just reading or, doing some work on your computer and you're in the backyard because it's a nice day out. All right, yeah, grab a whole bunch of trees and chuck them in the grass.
Oh, yeah.
Your dog's going to be walking around for a long time trying to get those and come out of it with mental enrichment as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Which, that's a big part of owning a dog anyways also is the mental part of it as well. And that kind of goes with a lot of everything that we do with our dogs, gives them that mental enrichment as well. So exercise can be just, you don't have to be out getting all the exercise with your dog either. If you're physically disabled or, maybe you've had surgery, you can't go for a walk.
Mm-hmm.
You're not necessarily going to be hiring somebody to come walk your dogs.
Right.
But you can do other things. It's going to give them
absolutely
that, and also, like you say, the mental enrichment involved in some of these games that give them exercise is way beneficial.
Yeah. So when I think about exercise for a dog, and I think like the idea of going to the gym for us, I now think about play first. It used to be walk, right? And so now walk is actually my lowest form of exercise, and I like a regular neighborhood walk, and so it's like play for 10 or 15 minutes, especially because most play can be done inside. So as Texans, right, not weather dependent, so that's good.
Yes.
And so it's like play, and then the next thing would be a decompression walk, which is like a nice leisurely sniffy walk. And then the bottom would be like just going on a regular neighborhood walk.
Yeah, I tell you what I like to do. So, and I hear people say, of course, when they do take them for walks, I take them on this 2-mile walk. I take them for a walk for an hour.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that that's a lot, right?
And you run the risk of turning your dog into an athlete.
Yeah, you're preparing them for a marathon.
Yes.
You're building up their endurance, and,
Yes.
and the more you exercise them that way, the more you have to.
Yeah.
You know, I take my dogs for walks every evening usually. I used to do it twice a day, but
Yeah.
I don't do it twice a day anymore. My dogs are getting older, and so am I.
Yeah.
But you know, take them on 15 minutes tops. I take them down to the end of the block and back.
Yeah.
And
Just catch up on the neighborhood gossip.
Yeah. I let them sniff, and then, you know, sometimes we work on, you know, depending on the dog, we work on different things. You know, my reactive dog, I work on, oh, the neighbor just came out, let's work on that.
Yeah.
You know, you know, with my dog Loki, it's, you know, sort of off-leash type activities.
Yeah.
That I work with him, you know, making sure he's paying attention, focusing to me, and comes back when I call him.
Yeah.
You know, those kinds of things. So we do a little bit of training while we're walking, because
Right.
in my life, that's really the time that I have
Yeah.
to devote to that.
Yeah.
Is when I'm taking them for a walk.
And that's the other biggest thing that, like, we build up in our minds that, oh my god, I don't have time to work through this problem with my dog. Like, my dog's jumping on people, or my dog doesn't come when called, or they're reacting on walks, or whatever. Like, the weight of all that stuff needing to be trained can actually hold you back from, you know, doing things with your dog, which then makes everything else more difficult, and then may eventually lead to you being like, maybe I need to rehome this dog. So let's demystify training a little bit.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So one of the things that I've heard about training is that, well, I just don't have time to spend on training.
Right.
But really, you do. If you work it into your everyday life, like I say, you know, I do take my dogs for a walk every day. And while I'm doing that, we're working on a few training things.
Just sprinkling it in.
Maybe, you know, you're at home and you're, you know, the mailman comes. Again, my dog, very reactive dog, she hates the mailman.
Understandable.
Right? They're scary.
Yeah.
Just
They bring bombs every day.
right?
Yes.
I mean, God.
Yeah.
Anyway, so whenever the mailman comes, if I happen to be home at the time,
Yeah.
then I'm just taking a couple minutes while the mailman's driving by and telling her it's okay, and maybe teaching her to go to her place and lay down.
Right.
While the mailman's there. And then once the mailman's gone, which, I mean, all of 2 seconds, right?
Yeah.
And then she's calm and she can go check it out, look outside, she's done. Presto.
Yeah.
That's one little training technique, and it took me 5 minutes.
Right.
You know, we don't need to spend hours at a time just working on training techniques with our dogs.
Yeah. And in fact, it's actually kind of a waste of your time. You didn't know, a dog's attention span is only about 1 to 2 minutes long. So for a given thing that you're working on with them, once you're past 60 seconds, especially for puppies and senior dogs, their brain's starting to get tired, and you're actually going to get diminishing results. It's kind of like what people say is, like, if you're working out at the gym, right, and you're lifting weights and you're running, like, at a certain point, after an hour or so, your body starts to get so tired that then it's not actually gaining much from that workout. So I keep all of my sessions to 1 minute. I often think of that as like 10 reps. You know, put 10 treats in my hand. That way I know I won't go on for too long with training. I do 10 reps and then we're done. And then it's something that I can come back to again later that day or the next day. And it's actually way more important for your dog's learning that they get 1 minute every day than even getting 5 minutes twice a week or 10 minutes at the end of the week. Because every time you do something with them, they're going to sleep on it, their brain is going to process that information, and then the next time you come back, it's way more about consistency and repetition overall than it is about how long you're drilling it into them.
Absolutely, and I tell my clients, and I make that part of your feeding routine.
Yeah.
Right? You know, grab a handful of their food out of their bowl, do a few of something, and when you run out of the stuff in your hand, then you give them their dinner.
Yeah.
And presto, I mean, you've
done some training.
Absolutely.
And honestly, you know, the best proactive approach is to sit down and work on something with them for that 1 minute. But if that's not what you have time for, it's not an all or nothing game. Getting 3 reps in is still something.
Absolutely.
And especially if you're pairing it with these routines that you do throughout the day, it's actually a very durable way to do training. And really, it's mostly how I do training at this point in my own home.
Well, and I tell you, like, recall. Recall is a big thing to a lot of people, right? I need my dog to come in when they're outside because I need them to come in.
Right.
You know, and making it a positive thing for them. I always tell people, you know what? When they're outside playing, just go outside, call them to you, give them a treat, and go back inside.
Right.
Once. Just do it once.
Yeah.
And then they can go continue playing, and, you know, then the next time, you know, eventually when you call them, it's going to mean you get to come in, but it's not every time.
Yeah, totally.
You know, and especially if you're by yourself, you know, spending a lot of time trying to train recall, and once they realize you have treats, they're right there going, hey, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, now you have their attention. Which, speaking of, will you reach up on the shelf there and grab that?
Absolutely.
Okay, so big fan of the single rep training throughout the day. And one of the ways that I make that something that my brain remembers to do and take advantage of is by having strategically positioned treat jars around my home. And so I will put these on my desk, I'll have some on the side table next to the couch, on the kitchen table, in the kitchen, there's one in my husband's office. Anywhere that I find I'm often either redirecting behavior or I might catch my dog doing a behavior that I love. And so you now have the ability to make rewards appear out of thin air, which makes your dog more likely to engage with you because now they've learned that treats are actually always a possibility. They don't need to see the bag on you. They don't need to see it in your hand.
Or smell it in your pocket.
Exactly. Yeah. Because sometimes you just magic them into the air.
Well, and I'll be honest with you, like, people think that I carry my treat bag with me everywhere I go. Not at all. Like, I don't even have one in the house.
Right.
You know, it's not in my training building or in my car. Like, it's, you know, it's not part of my everyday attire.
I actually think of it as my dog's purse. So anywhere he goes, it goes.
Very fair.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And what I tell people, too, with these, of course, having a lid on it that's not easy to come off for them.
That's more for decoration.
No, I love this one, though. I love this one. But, you know, and they don't have to be, you know, jars. They can be just, even a Ziploc bag.
Yeah.
That you put in the center console of your couch.
Yes, that's a good place.
You know? Yeah. Once they figure out, oh, that jar has treats in it, or that plastic container has treats in it, then some may likely go knock it off the table and go eat it.
Yes.
But sticking it in places where it may be higher, they can't reach it, or putting it where, you know, it's tucked in a drawer in your living room or in your kitchen. So yeah, like you say, it's just magically there.
Right. Funny quick story about that.
Okay.
The first iteration of my, these are often called smart jars. Of those were just like a little Tupperware, like what you would put your salad dressing in, right? And Ace totally opened it and took the top off of it and just like went to town. Good for him, very strategic. And so then the next iteration were these cute little mason jars, and I love them. Then I had a child, and he would pick them up and drop them and shatter them. So now my current iteration that I give to clients are just like little cosmetic jars. They're perfect for it because they're twist. So it'd be really hard for a dog to like figure that out unless they had a lot of time on their hands. I'm really bad about leaving like treats open. So the treats I put inside there also are all like freeze-dried, air-dried. So that even if the top gets left off, it's not a huge deal.
Right, it's not gonna get them moldy or anything. You know, you're not gonna have hot dogs in that jar.
Yeah, and they're still gonna stay delicious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so small, bite-sized training, just a little bit here and there. And sprinkle it in,
and make it part of your routine. You know?
Yeah. Totally.
Consistency and routine is huge when it comes to dogs.
Mm-hmm.
They learn faster by that. I've got a funny story about that. So my mom had a dog that he would he had a tendency to get sick and throw up in the middle of the night.
Oh,
okay.
Poor guy.
I know, but he would get into things and eat things.
Yeah.
Now this was a long time ago, right? Long before I ever thought about becoming a trainer.
Yeah.
But they lived in this house, and their bedroom was on the second floor. So when he starts that hacking, you know, that wakes you up in the middle of the night.
Oh my God, it makes you jump out of bed.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And he started that. You know, you couldn't just take him down and outside.
Right.
Because, I mean, down the stairs and out the door, that was a long thing. And they had shed carpet.
Oh
so
my
you
gosh.
did not want him throwing up on the carpet.
The perfect storm.
Right? So what she would do, when she heard that sound and woke up out of a dead sleep,
Yeah.
she would pick him up and put him in the bathtub.
Yeah.
Okay?
Smart.
Easy to clean up. Okay? One night, in the middle of the night, she hears him, she jumps out of bed, can't find him. He's in the bathtub.
Yeah.
Because she was so consistent about putting him in the bathtub
When he
every
felt
time
that.
he felt that way. So when he started feeling that way, he
That's
put
right.
himself in the bathtub.
Smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Our dogs are always learning.
Always.
By the way.
They're always picking it
Yeah.
up.
That's why there's like, when you're a trainer, you get really good at just like keeping an eye out for all those little learning moments that you can take advantage of. And it's not something that I expect the average dog owner to start doing. But the more you look out for those sort of yes moments, instead of the waiting for them to do the thing that makes you say no, the easier it becomes to fit training into your schedule.
Absolutely. And you make it just part of your everyday routine.
Right. It's just second nature.
Before I feed them, I'm going to take out a handful of treats and we're going to do some puppy push-ups or we're going to do some leave it, take it, whatever, for,
It's practice or nose touch, whatever.
Yeah. And then, presto, you're done. Or, then, okay, before we go on a walk, of course, dogs get so excited when you see the leash.
Yeah.
Right? And that's usually when they're jumping and going crazy and then you're going nuts trying to put that leash on them.
Yeah.
Teach them to sit before they go out to get their leash.
Yeah.
Have that part of the routine.
Yeah.
That way, even if you don't take your dog for a walk every day, if you practice that routine, when you do take them for a walk, when you do take them to the vet, when you do take them, then it's not going to be as exciting or as novel. Oh, I know what to do. I come in, I sit.
Yeah.
In fact, my dogs, they even know what order they go in when they go for walks.
Yeah.
Right?
That's awesome.
They know whose turn it is.
Yeah.
And they come into the kitchen and they sit in front of
Yeah.
where I'm putting it, and I put their collar on them, and then we go to the door and we go out. And in fact, Trini, when she could still walk herself mostly, she would actually grab the end of the leash and walk herself to the door and wait for me to come grab that. But and they all know when it's their turn. They're not in the kitchen until it's their turn.
Oh yeah.
As soon as they hear the leashes, the first dog comes in and sits down. The others don't even care.
Oh yeah. They are masters of pattern recognition.
Absolutely.
Okay, there's one other thing I want to chat about. I'm going to check really quick and see if there's any questions we've missed. Just want to make sure. Let's see. Okay, I don't think. If you have questions, I'm like, you can comment with, it's hard to find time to blank. And just put in your own example.
Absolutely, we'd be happy to respond to you on the even after the live is over.
Yeah, like put it in the comment box and then
we'll one of us will pop in and answer you.
Yeah. Okay. I saw something pop up, so I just want to make sure that nothing bad happened. Okay. Cool.
I think we're still good.
All right. So we've kind of talked about exercise and training, and a lot of the examples we've given have been for kind of your like nuisance, common behavior, concerns, jumping, pulling on a leash, not coming when called in from the backyard, things like that. And so I could totally see how with those like bigger, scarier, more detrimental behaviors like, separation anxiety or stranger danger, reactivity, how that feels so insurmountable. You're like, I don't have, not even just like the everyday time to manage this, but just like the long-term time.
Right.
So I just want to address that really quickly because honestly, that's like most of what I do with people. I'd say at least 60 to 70% of my cases involve that kind of stuff. It's way more common than people realize. And so I think the biggest tip I can give for someone who's feeling overwhelmed by just how much time they think it's going to take to work through that thing is that we need to have short-term solutions to kind of manage the problem while we work on training in the background. And that really gives you the space and the mental clarity to like practice that and be patient with the process. because it is a process, and
Absolutely.
it's really kind of a lifelong thing. Whenever we're dealing with those big feelings, you kind of just got to stay on top of it. But it gets easier as you go along, and part of what helps that is making sure that you're at least putting a stop to your dog from continuing to just be made upset by those things constantly.
Right. And I kind of put it in the sense of the more that a dog practices a behavior, the better they get at it.
Yes, yeah.
And so
every time they bark at the mailman,
we try to manage it to where they, can't see the mailman. They can't practice those behaviors.
Yeah. Right. Because it's not providing them a worthwhile experience anyway.
Right.
A lot of people say, oh, my dog loves to look out the front windows, right, and watch what's going on. And yeah, I love watching TV, right? Some TV is very educational and really feeds back into my soul. Some of it is trash. And so I think of like all those moments that they're looking out the window and they're getting upset about something is like watching trash TV, or like watching the news and getting upset about everything and whatnot. So it's like if they're leaving the experience more stressed than they went in, then that's pulling from their cup, not filling their cup.
Yeah.
And so I think having, window film up has been just transformative for my household, because it went from 100 things to bark out each day to now like 10. And it's if he hears something, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so that has kept the reactivity at bay, so that then I control when we train on it.
Absolutely.
And it's not just swimming upstream all the time.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Management, I always tell people, management is the first part of training.
Right.
Put that window film up to where they can't see the people walking. And you can get amazing window film on Amazon that is like frosted glass.
Yeah, I have some honestly on the window behind the camera right now. I have it there, and and I love natural light.
Yeah,
so
I still let some light in.
Big on natural light.
And I've had people, tell me, well, I don't want to put something on the window because then I still want to be able to see out.
Yeah.
But you know what? The other thing is you need to figure out how tall your dog is.
Yeah, it's only on the bottom half.
You don't have to do the whole window.
Yeah, and I have a tall dog.
You do have a tall dog. And it's only on the bottom half.
And honestly, it kind of gives some nice privacy as well,
Yeah.
It's always the front windows that tend to be the problem. Well, that's where, all the solicitors walk up, and, the people who want to sell you solar panels and stuff, and it's like, maybe you don't want them to know your home.
Right?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or if you want to walk around
and you know what? I do want, the people on the other side of the door to know that I have some pretty big dogs.
Yes. Can't hurt.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm home alone.
Yes. Yeah.
The creepy guy comes to the door.
So often, what brings people some really nice immediate relief to these problems is realizing that preventing is like a huge piece of the puzzle and gives you the bandwidth to do everything else.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes it's not just about time, but it's about like the mental time as well,
Right.
thinking about it, experiencing it. And so prevention is a big one. And then I'd say the other thing that people are not utilizing to its best form that can really help with their training issues or whatever is the enrichment.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
Weaponizing that.
Absolutely. A lot of times, people, feel, that a crate is a punishment.
Yeah.
And I strongly disagree with that. I mean, don't get me wrong, it can be a punishment if you use it.
If you use it that way, for sure.
But really, a crate should be like their bedroom. Like when you were a teenager.
Office.
Yeah, when you were a teenager and you went to get away from mom and dad, you went to your room.
Yeah.
Right. That's what their crate should be. It should be a safe place for them to go.
Yes.
In my house.
A retreat.
Yeah, in my house I have one crate, and it's the door's open all the time.
Right.
My dogs are old enough I don't have to keep them in there anymore for them tearing up my house or whatever. But when you have a young dog that maybe they're getting too much exercise. Or maybe they're not getting enough sleep. Sometimes that crate can be the place where they can calm down.
Yeah.
They can shut down and go take a nap.
Turn off.
Yes.
Yeah.
But enrichment and crate training kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
You know,
it helps with the crate.
Absolutely.
Comfort with the crate.
Absolutely. I like messy things in the crate. Things like Kongs that have been filled, Kongs or the topples that you use.
Yeah.
Fill them up with peanut butter or yogurt or something.
Yeah.
And licking activities, you know, are very calming for them.
Yes. Lowers their heart rate.
Yeah. And so, you know, putting them in their crate to give them that enrichment, you know, number one, especially licking activity like a Kong, they're going to be tired and they're going to probably fall asleep pretty quick.
Yeah.
And then also it contains the mess
to
the crate. You know, we've done peanut butter bones and stuff for our dogs, and my covers on my bed smell like peanut butter for a while.
Yeah.
Gotta wash that.
The dog life.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a nice sleeping
Yes.
scent.
Yeah.
But as far as enrichment goes, you know, what are some good things that you've had come out of enrichment?
Well, right behind Kim is some of my favorite enrichment, which is chew time. Especially because for a lot of behaviors, the best solution is an outlet for it.
Okay.
Right? Like, if you don't want your dog to chew on things, you've got to give them something to chew on. So if it feels overwhelming, like, I don't have time to, like, monitor them every time of the day and make sure that they're not, you know, grabbing shoes and stuff like that. First two easiest, work smarter, not harder suggestions are, one, keep them from accessing those things. A gate, a door, you know, whatever. Putting things away, not always easy, I know that. This is where a gate really comes in handy. So prevent first, and then outlet, right? If their craving for chewing is satisfied on this, then they're less likely to end up with a shoe in their mouth or whatever.
Right. Well, and I tell you, you know, there's a lot of good enrichment activities.
Yeah.
You know, dogs love to tear stuff up.
Love it.
You know, and we don't necessarily want to not let them tear stuff up, but we don't want them to tear up my pillows. I don't want them to tear up my couch.
Yes.
You know,
we need legal opportunities
to
shred.
Right. So some good options for that might be like things like a doggy Disneyland. Right?
What's that?
So, I love that.
Oh, tell me about this.
So,
I'm very excited.
So, well, some people use crates. Other people use, you know, maybe a playpen or maybe like a baby gate that is in a bathroom. So you have a room. Bathrooms and laundry rooms are usually pretty safe. There's not a whole lot in there that dogs can get into and mess up. Yeah. You know, unless they get to your dryer vent, which you know. I've never seen a dog do that, but I'm sure it's possible. But anyway, so you would put a baby gate in there so they can still see you. Like it's not like closing the door and just they're trapped in there. But you put only the things in that room or in that space that are good for them. Okay. Right? So things like toilet paper packages. Yeah. Where you take the center of the toilet paper roll. Yeah. And maybe you wad up some treats in a paper towel and stuff it in there and fold the ends. Yeah. You know, old Amazon boxes. Oh, yes. You know, what do we do with those old Amazon boxes?
I literally have some in my office closet for that reason. Just like the crinkly paper, the box, sprinkle treats in there. I do the same thing in my dog's toy basket. Yeah. Sprinkle treats. I call it Bobbin for treats. And he gets in there. His head looks so stupid inside of the thing, looking for all the snacks.
Well, and I saw one the other day was someone got the kiddie pool. And filled it with the balls. You know, and then sprinkled treats in that.
Ball pit treats.
You know, and then they're just going in there and they're loving the balls. They're loving the treats. They're, you know, of course, not all enrichment has to be food related either, though. No. You know, different smells.
Ooh, yeah.
You know, have you ever thought about creating a scent garden?
Yes. When I saw a fellow colleague has a sniff spot at her home and it has a sensory scent garden in it.
Oh, I love that.
I think it's so sweet.
I love that.
My easy, everyday work it into your routine version of that is my dogs are always allowed to be TSA at my home. So when bags come in from the grocery store or my backpack from training comes in, they give it a good sniff down. sniff me up and down, get the information they need, wave me on through to my plane.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, enrichment is something that doesn't take up a lot of time. I simply have to hand the thing to my dog.
right.
And now they've got, whether it's 5 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever, it's so much more about the outcome of it and how they feel afterwards.
Right.
That the return on investment is actually that he naps for an hour because he feels so satisfied.
Right. And what I like about a doggy Disneyland is number one, it's separated from you as the owner.
Yeah.
You can put them in there, they're safe, there's nothing in there they can hurt, everything in there is theirs, they can destroy it, they can whatever,
Right.
and it's fine. And also, that teaches them to self-entertain themselves.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times you have dogs or people that come up and say, well, my dog's always bringing his toy to me, he wants to play fetch and he wants to play, and, well, you can't always play with that.
Right. It's
right?
just not possible.
I think we talked about, earlier, before we started the live, about you said something about with your son. If you spent that 15 minutes with him, then you can do your stuff alone.
Yeah. Just, giving sort of your undivided attention and really being present. Giving 100% of yourself rather than trying to constantly be like multitasking it. You actually end up saving time if you kind of just like get into it with them, really fill their cup for needing bonding time and all that, and then you can move on to the next thing, and usually at that point he's able to kind of independently play.
Well, and I think for dogs, I think enrichment's a lot of that, is that you're spending the time to put together these fun things for him, and like I say, if you put him in his doggy Disneyland, or his pen, or his crate, or whatever outlet you have for that, then you can, put those things together, show him all these fun things to do, and then then you can go cook dinner, and leave him to it, and you don't have to worry about him being underfoot. You don't have to worry about, you know.
It's very similar to like handing my kid a pack of stickers and a piece of paper. Have at it. Now I can go answer some emails,
Yeah.
Totally. I mean, we're their whole world. Like they live for us. We come home from work, our day is done, their day is just beginning.
Oh, yeah.
And so, we bred them to be kind of obsessed with us, and it makes sense that they are. And so, giving them something that fills their cup, which is going to be unique to each dog, is one of my easiest ways to get people some relief on the problems that feel insurmountable and feel like, oh my god, this is just like, I'm going to have to be training all the time. And let's work smarter.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think there's one last point we should make to wrap this up.
Okay.
And that's about sleep.
Yeah.
Do you want to say what you were going to say before that?
Well, I was actually going to head in that same direction.
Okay, cool.
I think we're on the same page.
Yes, yeah.
Is that, one huge misconception that people don't really understand is how much sleep their dogs need.
So much.
They feel, people always feel bad, oh, my dog is in his crate while I'm at work for 12 hours.
Yeah.
Or whatever. You know what? That's fine.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. Again, that's the place where they can calm down, they can, chill out.
Yeah.
And shut it off,
Mm-hmm.
But sleep, adult dogs, which is any dog over the age of 2, need at least 12 to 14 hours of sleep every day.
Yeah. Half of a 24-hour cycle.
Now that's not all in one
Right.
spot. Like generally speaking, if they get every couple of hours, they get 30 minutes to an hour of sleep every day, every time, then that's fine. And it happens, of course, if they don't get their sleep.
They get cranky.
They get cranky.
Which can often be confused with a dog that needs more exercise.
Right.
And so sometimes we're actually spinning our wheels on extra exercise or extra, like you need this stimulation, you need this stimulation, you need it. And so instead what we should do is helping their body calm down for sleep and encouraging sleep.
Right.
And
I like to, kind of compare it to an overtired dog. I mean, you've heard the saying that a tired dog is a good dog.
Yes.
Right? And that is somewhat true until you have an overtired dog.
Yes.
And when you have an overtired dog, you have basically the equivalent to a 2-year-old child.
Yes.
That needs a nap, but doesn't want to take a nap because they're afraid they're going to miss something.
And has sharp teeth.
And it has sharp teeth.
And that's times when we tend to see those behaviors that most of us don't enjoy. Mouthing, barking, jumping.
Yes.
Yeah, just, going and finding something to do, or,
Yeah.
digging into things, grabbing stuff. And part of that is because, Kim mentioned this a little bit earlier, is that a lot of the time they're having trouble soothing themselves. And one of the best ways to help them do that is with enrichment that gets them sniffing, licking, or chewing. Those 3 behaviors lower your dog's heart rate. So I think of that as akin to like, all right, my kid's about to go to nap in an hour. We're gonna dim the lights. We're gonna read a book, do some stickers. We're doing calm activities now. We're gonna slowly let the body calm down so that when it is time to go in that cold, dark room, it's right out.
Well, and the same thing like for nap time, people will be like, well, I put him in the crate in the living room, right?
Yeah.
And yet you're still running around. Maybe you're vacuuming. Maybe you're doing
Yeah.
all the things. That's probably not a great place.
Probably
He's
too
going to still
stimulating.
be paying attention to you.
Yeah.
So having a space that is out of the normal flow of your household for them to go nap is perfect.
Yeah. And a lot of dogs don't want to stop partying.
No.
So if there is stimulation, they're going to keep going until they're overtired. And the best thing that you can do for them on average is help them get sleep. So sometimes that might mean leading them to a location that will allow them to do that.
Right.
And then they can wake up and come back and, well, now we can do the exercise and the fun things again because you've rested.
Right.
Yeah.
And I said, 12 to 14 hours for an adult dog. And when you have a puppy, that's even more. Like it's
16 to 20?
I was going to say 18 to 20 for a dog that is, in the 6-month range.
And then senior dogs too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
you may notice that Ace is sleeping a lot these days.
Yeah.
But, he's getting up there.
Yeah.
And
to your point earlier about kind of feeling like that, maybe you don't have a dog yet. Maybe you're thinking, I don't really have time for a dog in my life, and that might be true. But if it's about you being at work and they're going to be home alone, that's honestly when they catch up on their sleep.
Absolutely.
Because again, their day starts when we're around.
Yeah.
And so whether your dog is in a crate or not, Ace is in a crate during the day. And most people, I say if they've got like a camera or whatever and watching their dog, I'm like, what do your dogs do when you're gone? They're like, mostly just sleep.
Yeah.
And so, even if they're not in a crate, they'd still probably be choosing sleep.
Absolutely. I know mine do.
Yeah.
And I do have the cameras all over the house to see them.
It's nice to check in on our babes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I used to, watch them while I'm working.
I know. Yeah.
On my day job. But
Miss you.
oh, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Aww.
So cute.
So
I don't have enough pictures of you sleeping. I only have 100.
only 100.
Only 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So making sure they get enough sleep, making sure they're getting enough enrichment.
Yeah.
The enrichment activities, teaching them to be a dog that helps them relax.
Yes.
Which helps them get that sleep.
Yeah.
If they're not getting enough sleep and you're noticing that 2-year-old behavior, then you need to probably start working some nap times into your day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe you work from home and your dog comes in and now you're on a call and he's barking while you're on a call, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's time for him to go take a nap.
Yeah.
Don't feel bad about it.
Yeah.
We don't want him in the crate 24/7, but don't feel bad about putting him in there while you go to work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
honestly, whenever I do something like this or I'm doing a consultation with a client, the first thing I do is give Ace something to chew on, and then I close the gate so that he can't come over here and bark at things. And usually after he chews on his cowie or whatever, he just falls asleep. And so I've sort of prepped him to be busy and then tired while I'm trying to be busy. And I'm still tired.
Try to be productive.
Yes, there we go. I like that word. Yeah. Okay, so let's bring us home. Let's land this plane.
Absolutely.
I do see some things up
is
here.
Okay.
So let me read out to you. How long should dogs sleep overnight while you're sleeping? Ooh, and do elderly dogs need more sleep? Ooh, glad we kind of got that one already.
We did. So, of course, the answer is yes, the elderly dogs do need more sleep.
Yeah.
Their bodies are processing things, trying to keep things going. Like a young dog, they're using that energy to grow.
Right.
An old dog is using that energy just to move.
Yeah.
These days. You know? But what was the other question? How long?
How long should they be sleeping overnight while you're sleeping?
Well, generally speaking, dogs will not sleep for the full 8 hours.
Yeah.
They might not get up and they may not be, restless and moving around. But I mean, like I know my dogs, they will sleep when I'm sleeping, but they get up and they move.
Right.
Like look, he'll switch from one couch to the other.
Right.
Or he'll
Totally.
switch from the bed to the floor.
Yeah.
Or they'll switch and move around, and maybe they'll go check something out.
Yeah.
They're not.
Yeah.
Not
Or if like we get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom,
Yeah.
they might, wake up and whatnot.
Yeah, and they may have to go to the bathroom
Yeah.
at that point. Just like us when they've been sleeping and they wake up, they probably have to go.
Yeah.
So.
And yeah, I'd say as long as they're getting quality sleep, if you hear their collar jingling a lot in the night, then maybe they're having a little trouble with that. Talk to your vet about that. But yeah, just know that they are not straight out for 8 hours like we are. But it also should be, like a bunch of naps in a row.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
About every couple hours, they should be getting some, even in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
They're up and they may be doing something, but
yeah. So usually, like, and I didn't see any other questions, so I'll come back. I feel like I'll be on the couch watching TV, and I haven't gone to bed yet, but he's napping already.
Right.
So again, it's kind of like whenever we're sedentary, they nap.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
almost like the saying that when your baby's sleeping, you should be sleeping too.
Yes.
When we're sleeping or when we're not moving, they're likely to be too.
Yeah.
Unless there's a puppy, and then if there's quiet, then you have to figure out, wait, what are they doing?
I know. Yeah.
I had that with Loki once when he was a year old when we got him.
Yeah.
And we came home late one night after going out date night, and come home, and I just sort of sat on the couch and sort of dozed off because I'd been gone all day. I was tired. Of course, like you said, it was mom's home. Now my day's starting. And then I realized that I hadn't heard him in a second. So I went to find him, and he had the end of the toilet paper on the bed, and he was chewing on the toilet paper on the bed, and it was still connected to the roll that was in the bathroom.
Oh my gosh.
It was hilarious. There's a video on my page. If you
Yes! I think I remember when I came to your house, it was like, that's why we keep the bathroom doors closed.
Well, no, we cannot have the toilet paper on the holder.
Yes, that's what it was.
It has to be on the counter, otherwise
Yes.
he's got a fixation on toilet paper.
Yeah, well, we've all got something.
We do, and that is a perfect example of management.
Yeah.
Well, we don't put it on the holder if that's where he needs it.
Yeah,
Put it on the counter.
Yeah, like problems, like not every problem needs to be trained. Right? And most problems can't, not most, but lots of problems just can't be simply trained. Right? Because your dog is a dog, and they're going to do dog things.
And a lot of times, some of those things happen when you're not home.
Right.
When you're not there to actively work on it.
Right. And when you're not there, your dog's going to dog.
Yeah, like maybe I don't want my dogs on the furniture.
Yeah.
And so fine, but if I'm not in the room to tell them to get off the furniture, they're going to be on the furniture.
Yeah, exactly.
So you manage it by putting stuff on the furniture to prevent them from getting up when you're not watching.
Yes.
So those kinds of things.
And I do think people also kind of get caught up in the what's expected of their dog to be trained to do or not to do.
Right.
And my personal policy with clients is your house, your rules. So as long as your dog and the people inside of it are happy and safe, great. That's fine.
Agreed.
If you want your dog on the couch, great. I agree. You don't want your dog on the couch, fine. I think you're missing out on cuddles, but fine. Right?
That's fair.
You don't mind if your dog sniffs the groceries, great. You don't want your dog to sniff the groceries? Okay, fine too. Put a gate up.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll be honest, like there's things that I teach my clients to do because it's something that makes sense for them and their life.
But not
I don't teach my dogs to go to a place when someone comes to the door because I don't have visitors very often. So it doesn't matter to me if they go to the door when someone knocks.
It's not like a great return on investment for you.
Right.
Yeah.
But people who entertain a lot at their home and have people come over, a family that comes and goes. Yeah, you don't want that dog dashing out the door. Yeah. Which that is something that I do teach my dogs. You don't dash out the door. You don't jump on people when they walk in. So, but
because again, that's a safe. If people are going to be stressed out or unsafe, then that makes sense.
Absolutely.
And another great example. I worked on weight at doors with Ace, and he's great at it. I really only focused on the front door because at the back door, usually that's like I gotta go, or dogs are really excited to play, and so that's an uphill battle. It doesn't really bother me. They're going to a fenced area, so it's fine.
Right.
Or with the garage. Ace loves a car ride, guys. It's his favorite thing in the whole world, car rides and dairy. So if we're going to Starbucks, he wants in. And so every morning when we open the garage door to take our son to school, he has to be in there with us. He just wants to be right there, even though he knows he's not coming, but he's still going to go for it. And so it was an uphill battle to try and work on weight at that door. So instead, I just let him go in and then call him back, and that's way easier to manage.
Right.
So even as professional dog trainers, we don't necessarily, I don't want to say like, we don't have perfectly trained dogs. We don't have perfectly trained dogs, but also no one does, and that's going to look different for everyone. And that was one battle that I was like, it's easier for me to like let him run around in the garage for a hot sec, come back inside, than it was to like put in the effort to keeping up weight, especially when I'm the only one who's gonna like keep up with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Obviously your son's not going to. He's not old enough to care about that so much, right?
He's actually really bad about opening the door and then just letting Ace out. So
fair.
Yeah.
So. All right. Well, I think that is everything that we had to cover here.
Yeah. Thanks for sticking around if you've been here this long.
Absolutely. And we will post this video of it later to be watched later by anybody.
Yeah. Feel free to, if you watch it and you have a thought of like, it's hard to find time for this, feel free to comment with it, and we'll try to, one of us will comment as the coalition and bring you some sort of answer. I'd say the takeaway message here is there's often a better solution. If something's it needs to take a lot of time to do, there's probably some solutions that are going to help with that you're not even thinking about, which is again is where we come in, right? Like it's our job to be experts in that, so you don't have to. And quality over quantity, guys, here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Quality of exercise over duration.
Right.
Quality of bonding time over duration.
Right. The quality of the training over duration. A couple seconds here is perfect.
3 beautiful reps. Love that.
Or even 1.
Yeah.
Even just do it once.
Just once.
Once today and once an hour from now. And
if every time you do that specific thing in your home, it has a treat attached to it, dog's going to pick up on that real quick.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And, quality sleep, man.
Sleep.
Really important.
Sleep is huge.
Sleep is really big.
I have not told you how many people have told me that oh my gosh, we started giving our dog nap times and now he's not tearing up my furniture.
Mm-hmm.
It's
big
crazy.
deal. Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Well, like I say, if you have any questions, please post it on there, and we'll take a look at it and answer questions. And if you want to share this video with any of your friends, please do.
Yeah, it's a good chat.
We're gonna put that on the Coalition website, the Coalition page, on our personal pages, probably as well, so that everybody can get benefit from it.
Totally.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Good talk.
All right. See you later, guys.
Happy Friday.